So, did well last night?
Eraser. Goodbye.
But would you like some confectionery?
What are you bringing?
You will never get this feeling back. Some of you may have never felt this before and will never feel this. But this is what web shows were like in the 2000s. Eddsworld is a show about Ed and his world. Starting off as a dinky little flash animation from the same year this piece of shit movie was published. And when it started gaining traction, it... Whoa, what the fuck happened? So look, things got a little bit messy with this one, but at least it wasn't the dumpster fire formerly known as Pencilmations. Because, you know, Eddsworld is actually watchable. Like, look at this animation. Hey, not that animation. We can't all be perfect, okay? And for 2011, with one sole beautiful, beautiful man animating all of it, you are not allowed to give it shit. Now, if you haven't figured it out yet, Ed is an actual real human being, along with all the other main characters in the show. And they're all just so goddamn talented. Like the blue one, Tom, who you may recognize as being the guy who's either confused or screaming in all of his thumbnails. Or homeless.
Bed.
That's not what a bed.
And his channel is just beautiful, alright? Lock me up and throw away the key if I get this whole channel burned onto a DVD with nothing to play it on. I will read the lines. And of course, we have Ed Gould, the most talented British man. Full stop. Even more talented than, random British person. Chris McCausland. And I think it's truly wonderful how even after a decade since Ed Gould passed away, his world has kept on spinning, and it is really fucking funny in the dumbest ways possible.
So, which one's yours?
None. I'm alone. Yeah, in this park. Full of children. Drinking.
I do find it interesting how these characters used to be based off of real people. How did we get to this point? I mean, I remember back in like 1992, the gimmicks were Matt had the intelligence of a kitchen shelf, Tom was both angry and rude, and Ed was usually the leader, and Tord, well, he isn't in the intro, so we can just send him back to Norway. But those were the dynamics. Stupid, rude, leader, and MK Ultra victim, and it was perfect. And you know, it's been over a decade since these archetypes were established, so let's see what we're working with here now. Okay, so Matt is the stupid one, Ed is the stupid one,
Is that the bite of
and Tom's a predator.
Full of children.
Oof, yeah, that's rough, but do you know how many goddamn times I've seen Hammer and Fail because and you know, I do kind of hate myself for not revisiting Eddsworld more often. You know, it's really good. And it still is really good.
Children.
But no matter how good they are, there was always one mystery they could never solve. The mystery skulls! That's right, baby. I'm talking about the mystery skulls. I love the mystery skulls. If you don't know what mystery skulls is, it's kind of like a Scooby-Doo parody, except it's not in any way at all like a Scooby-Doo parody. Arguably for the first episode, but I mean, come on. When was the last time you saw Shaggy commit first-degree murder on a hunky-ass white man? Like, good grief, why isn't he naked? I'm gonna keep it real with y'all here on this interplanetary level. The head bopping is so annoying. Sue me, okay? I don't like it. It's annoying. And not to mention how fucking confusing it gets later on. Because as previously mentioned, we start with first-degree murder that was actually manslaughter because his old arm was evil or something, which is already confusing enough. But then what the fuck is up with the dog? So yeah, apparently the dog and the blue-haired girl are like ancient warriors and this tree lady wants to eat them. I don't know, go watch the 6-part analysis series on YouTube. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The dog is actually like a god of chaos or something. Man, I hope my dog doesn't turn into that. Yeah, we're good. So just a recap before we continue on. Orange Boy killed Hunky Pink Man, who was in love with Blue Hair Girl, and then became Hunky Pink Ghost, who then chased them down in a drippy as fuck truck. Oh my lord. And then Tree Lady started attacking all of them, and Orange Boy and Pink Hunky Ghost became besties again. Yay! But I'm sorry, Hellbent is the best one. The rest are fine. Ghost is 2010s, Freaking Out's lyrics are kinda edgy, and Future... Nothing. I'm just a hellbent person. And you know, ignoring the fantastic everything of this series, its storytelling is shocking. You're telling me they knew everything they were doing with these characters since 2014? And the show still isn't over. The storytelling is better than 80% of modern television. I still don't know what was wrong with the Orange Boy's arm though, and I don't know if that's ever gonna be explained. I guess I need to go watch the 6-part analysis series on YouTube.
Arthur gets cursed by some mysterious force that strengthens his anger.
That's it. I mean, they gave Paper a more thought out arc, and that motherfucker died in Inanimate Battle 3. What a loser. But the series of crappy origin and invitational future is one I hadn't revisited for a very long time since starting this video, and I'm kind of ashamed of that fact. I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to stomach looking at it, but it is really good. Trust. This is generally considered the first offshoot of BFDI, and that's why it's the only one to get actual recognition from Michael and Carrie. Wow, he's in the show. Starting a year later than BFDI, as it was about halfway through its first season, and I know all I've done is talk smack about it at this point, but the transformation in a little over a year is shocking. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's better. Watching through the earlier episodes of season 1 was way more of a drag than I thought, but all of my complaints about the show as a whole are thrown out the window when I mention how genuinely shocking and engaging Taco is. Because in the entirety of the first season, she was nothing more than a gimmick character, spitting out only one-liners and just being the stupid one. And then people liked her so much that she actually made it to the finals with the other fan favorite, OJ. So the creators of the show realized they actually had to do something interesting. And do you want to know what that was? They made her British. They made her British. I shit you not, they made her British. And you want to know the worst part? It's a good twist, like a really, really good twist. Not because of her being British, but how she's reintroduced in the second season. And the role she plays helping out Mike behind the rest of the show's back is fantastic to watch. And I'd love to tell you where the story is going, but we haven't gotten a new episode in 3 years because the Inanimate Insanity team are too busy with season 3. What is wrong with these object shows? Like, I really tried with season 3, but I just don't care. Maybe I'll care one day, but like, finish your stories, please. Okay, thank you. I love you, Adam Katz. Oh, also, 2 days after writing this, they announced that season 2 is coming back. Yay. Raised by Zombies is very special in the sense that it has no spoken words of dialogue at all. I know that a certain mysterious skull also had that going for it, but where it uses music to drive the entire show, what drives Raised by Zombies is our immediately likable main character, and our intrigue as to how the hell that bird was able to carry that little girl like 5 kilometers. And more importantly, why did it do that? I don't know! This magical gift of being able to communicate with animals on some telepathic level is just never explained. I mean, there's something supernatural about this girl considering she died before the zombie outbreak and came back to life during it, or something like that. But how can a show with an arm to teeth monkey be so fucking sad? I don't know if it's zombie shows that just get me like this, but a few of the episodes just made me want to burst into tears like, lady, please, you're a zombie. How do you still have love and care for your daughter? It's really a beautiful, little, incomplete experience. It's been over 6 years tested. You need to move on. Part 12 is coming out. Fuck you, it's gonna happen. Just like how Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared 7 is coming out. Oh wait, that already happened. If you somehow don't know what a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is, to put it simply, it's acid. Oh, okay, it's British acid.
I am equipped to summon the one.
And I mean that in a serious way, because just wow. I remember in ye olden days when these came out, and I would go up to my friends excitedly to show them a duck man being cannibalized by his closest friend, because this show doesn't hold back. I mean, that's kind of the whole essence of the show. Hey, look, I'm cool and for kids, except I'm not. So basically, mascot horror if it was good. Like, for the love of God, I get the bear and everything, but really?
Kill yourself!
This shit is phenomenal. I mean, the songs are just like really good. And out of every show in this video, I'm more than happy to announce that this one got fully greenlit with 1 season and hopefully another on its way. I was kind of hoping for some amount of return of the web show teachers because those guys are just the best, but no, I get it. They want to keep things fresh and not rely on old ideas. I just wanted to see a spinach can dance again, man. But honestly, the true fear of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared didn't come from the gore or the psychological themes, but just from how in the last few episodes, the main cast dwindled down. Red guy leaves, Duck gets cannibalized, and then Yellow guy is all on his own, tormented by the lessons being taught to him. Great stuff, really. Show stealer. Now, has anyone seen my rusty spoons anywhere?
Hello. I like rusty spoons.
Oh, salad fingers. Salad Fingers series ended with a tumor that lived on his back growing to become like him, and then killing him and cooking him. Let's talk about that. Tested DSF. Originally released in July of 2004, Spoons was a smash hit on Newgrounds for its,
The feeling of rust against my salad fingers is almost orgasmic.
I don't know, but it did really well, and now nearly 20 years later, we're at the grand total of 13 episodes. Man, we need to get these shows some animation teams. But honestly, I don't know how you'd pitch the show to a network, because it's a show about a British person, which is already a bad start, who lives in a post-apocalyptic world where World War I, or the Great War, seemed to have resulted in Mr. Finger's innate lust for rust, and the rest of this barren wasteland. And I don't even know how the hell that happened. I mean, nukes came around like 20 years after, so your guess is as good as mine. But this show is especially upsetting to watch in the latter half of the series, as you realize he's just a kid. I mean, he talks like a kid, acts like a kid for the most part. I mean, practically every topic in the early episodes is some kind of kid-related event. At least the base premise, anyway. Until Birthday, which enacts a change in Salad Fingers, tackling more coming of age and I suppose mature subjects. Until our most recent episode, Harvest, where, going back to the beginning of this discussion, he is cooked and eaten by his replacement, known quite literally as Boy Fingers, subsequently resetting all of the minor growth Mr. Fingers had. And I don't know if there's gonna be more. I mean, like we said earlier, David Firth has been doing this for 20 years, so why stop? Welcome to Hell is a pilot short series about Sock, a once human, now demon, sent to eternally tell this guy to
I am one in a trillion.
Kill yourself until he actually does it. This thing is charming as butt. Like, the concept is fun, the sound design makes my ears cream, and the characters are, oh my god, Mephistopheles, please, oh my lord, I need him. Are very engaging. I especially really like Jonathan. He's just so accurate, I think is a good word to use. Like, this is what 40-year-old Facebook moms imagine when they think typical teenager, and the dynamic between these two is especially unique. Because despite how much Jonathan won't want it, it's either gonna go one of two ways. One, he kills himself and gets it over with, or two, he just accepts Sock as part of his life and enjoys his company. Oh yeah, and A Welcome to Hell 2 has been in production since like 2016, so that is definitely happening, which is great. But it's been like 8 years, Jesus, that's almost as long as it's been since The Heist came out. That being an animated thesis film about your geometry class gone rogue, as this gang of color-coded criminals decide to rob a bank. Except they don't, because they're being held captive by the big-ass vault doors and have to figure out what to do. I'd usually see all these characters as a little boring and stereotypical. I mean, you have the egotist, the strong, the wimpy, the careless, and the thinker. But honestly, somehow it works in the short's favor. In fact, a lot of things that would be kind of boring on paper, like the character designs just being shapes with human bodies, all look and play out fantastic. I mean, the idea of having 4 types of character expressions being lit up by how she's talking is just nifty. Even the side characters need their own spin-off show, because this Cone Man is a national treasure locked away in a vault deep underground. And I don't know if there's gonna be more of this gang. The creator said he was working on something new for these characters 6 years ago, and is only really active on his Twitter, occasionally posting about the short and the characters in it. Still though, the potential for an actual show to come out of this seems a little dead in the water. Almost as dead as June's parents! Yeah, let's talk about Obituary, because it's, read the title of the video again, please. Because I think Obituary has great potential that was wasted on a shitty looking comic series. Look, I know animation is expensive, and I'm happy it got any kind of continuation at all, but I'm just not a big fan of this art style. It just kind of looks lame to me. I don't know. Doesn't even look like the pilot, which is common in comic adaptations, but the difference here is that the pilot actually looked really good, and the voice acting is just fantastic, by the way. I honestly honestly feel like the show would have been picked up by some Netflix cartoon Nickelodeon something if it wasn't for its dark ass opening. Like, Jesus. And it's uncanny how similar its opening is to Welcome to Hell. It's like the same beginning idea if it took 2 different steps, and it's really fun to see the comparison. Oh, and also the flowers seem like really boring main antagonists. I've just never really been a big fan of the popular girls who are evil and fucked up trope. I would have loved to see something like a group of dibs. Yeah, that's it. I just want a group of dibs. And one more note before I end it off. I know you haven't spoken to a real human being in a while, June, but you've known Blatzy for literally less than an hour and you've already showed him your ghost family. God fucking damn. Costume just barely makes the golden section because it's only a little British, and I appreciate it for not going the full 9 yards. But what it does full send for is the comedy, because wow, just wow is it funny. At least every episode had a handful of jokes that made me laugh out loud, and I'm gonna be real here, I don't do that. There are very few shows that get me to do more than a little chuckle, and most of these chuckles come from Ben, just peak character writing. Really, I don't think I've ever seen a character be this stupid and yet this likable. Like, this man is a fucking brick for brains, and yet I don't want to smash his brains with a brick, which is a task so many shows get wrong. And you know, while it was started in our desolate year of 2015, nothing feels dated. It's all just so fresh and enjoyable, and it's still going to this day, 3 years ago. Well, supposedly there is a new episode in the works, as well as the rest of the whole new season that we've received a couple episodes for. But the latest episode, that being Shell Shock, was not greatly received, and yeah, to be honest, I kind of agree. The jokes were good, but the pacing was all over the place, new characters are a bit boring, and generally it just wasn't an interesting premise, which is sad because I do really love this show and I hope to see more of it in the future. But something Crash Zoom doesn't have that honestly every show should have is a beautiful little bird boy. I love you so much. It's always nice to see something like this get so popular so quickly because a lot of other web shows don't often take a cutesy route to their characters like this one does. I mean, the Scout is a certified bottom in this, and the Heavy is the dad that everyone deserves. Like, oh, come on. And because of the little I told you, you may worry that the show is a little directionless with no story, and that is completely wrong. Because boom, evil bird foreshadowing episode 3. And while they are actually really cute together, he manages to get Pootis fucking eviscerated. Nearly. What actually happens is he ends up in the hands of the blue team. Having red team be the kind of summary style and the blue team being full-ass winter is just such a cool idea and a great way to differentiate them. And after some hijinks of Pootis around blue base, they do a trade for the blue spy's head to be reattached to his creepy-ass frozen body. And all's well that ends well until the next episode. And another detail I should add here, this whole show is done with 0 bits of dialogue. It is completely silent other than the music and the sound effects, which is cool as fuck. Just goes to show how talented Quasi is with the expressions and body language. And I'd love to say the same for our next contender here, but I don't know what body language you can convey with a literal black hole, as BFDI is a topic I'm sure you're all familiar with. So I'll try and keep it swift. Basically, it made me a shit ton of money. I'm kidding, AdSense is fucking broken, but my first BFDI retrospective is my most viewed video at 67,000 views, and it's my worst video by far. Please, just watch the bread one. But despite that, I'm still happy this was my first video. I mean, BFDI meant so much to me, and it still does to an extent. It really brought me up when I was younger. I didn't watch anything nearly as much as I'd watch BFDI because it's kind of fantastic. And I don't give a rat's ass if this is just nostalgia blinding my judgment because it doesn't change the fact that I think BFDI is so well put together. And I'm just talking about the first season here. The other ones I might talk about in a sequel video because there's a lot more I can cover with this idea. But considering that when this was released and how old the creators were, you could tell how much effort was put into every episode. Past episode 6. I mean, before then, it just felt a bit amateur kids production, but the fact that they were able to change that in such a quick time is why I adore animated web shows, because they are just so much different from anything else we've seen. Always considering criticisms and taking directions that would have never worked if not for the availability of the internet. And while, yes, a lot of them take a buttload of time to pan out, or hell, even get a single episode out, I do think it's really, really worth it. Worth your time. Worth the creator's time. Worth everything, because the feeling of waking up on a bright Sunday morning earlier than usual, still in your pajamas, and seeing a new episode has came out while you're eating cereal is something that we should all experience. And it's something that we all still can experience. Hi, join my Patreon where you get all these cool things. Oh, my Twitch where you get all these cool things. Oh, my Discord where you get me. You get me.